Thank you for tuning in to Initiating Insight with Sibongile. Welcome. Today we are talking about customer service. To do that, I am joined by Mrs. Olga Mkize. Savannah, Mrs. Olga.
Savannah,
I call her fruitful. We know Guti, she's no stranger to the show.
I'm blessed.
Yebo. Asafuna ukuhamba so chepis.
No, I'm part of the furniture now.
But welcome. I always appreciate your time.
Thank
you so much. Customer service, why?
Yo, sis, you know, when you look around, or let me say, when you walk into any store as a customer, you go there looking for service. You go there expecting people to understand why you are there, to understand that you're walking in through that door means that you have brought money into their company. But most of the time, by the time you walk out, you are depressed because the very people that you brought money to are not willing to give you the service that is due to you as a customer. So generally, you know, I don't know about other countries, but in South Africa, customer service is very bad and it is poor, you know. And you see the workforce of today, it's like they couldn't be bothered. It's like people don't understand why are they at work. It's like they're just there for money. They're not, they don't understand the bigger picture, you know. They don't see the bigger picture of, if I give my all to this company, if I give my all to the customers, then it means we will retain the customers and I will be able to keep my job, you know. So customer service, it's like very bad, and I feel that it's something that we really need to address. And you know, give people something to think about. When you signed that employment contract and they stipulated everything that you ought to do, when you change and are not in compliance with what you agreed upon, what are you saying?
You know, I must confess that customer service is something that is very, very close to my heart. Something that I've been involved in my other life. And while you're talking, I'm trying by all means to be as calm as possible because it infuriates me. It's an irritation because as you think of going, I'm going to go to this retail store and I'm going to, first of all, it's next. And I mean, all the time, I say, I am not next. Next! And I stand there. Next! Is there any next that wants to go? I look at the people behind me. Is there any next? By the time I get there, it is, Sissy, it's next customer, please. Not next. But who do you think we are? Hi. And I'm thinking there's no next here. Do you think these people don't get trained, or do you think perhaps they take the training and throw it out of the window? I'm the one in this till and I'm going to do whatever it is that I want. Perhaps the feeling of authority or the feeling of ownership then makes the person forget to actually it is a responsibility more than it is power.
I think to a certain degree people do get training.
Okay.
But you know, there's this thing called familiarity. When people get familiar, let me say, with the working environment, and they just couldn't be bothered. I mean, we are at work and I'm waiting for the 25th, the 27th to come, and you coming here with your trolley full or whatever, you're just a burden to me, you know. They do get training, but you know, that training get lost somewhere as they go along, you know. And I know the infuriation that you're talking about. You know, where I used to work, I used to be in the banking sector. The rule was the sun must not go down on a customer query. You know, customer service was the most important thing that you could actually lose your job. Like, you could be dismissed now because of that. And it's like even when the telephone rings, and I don't work in this department, I work in another department, I can't just pass it by and say, they say 3 rings. It must just be 3 rings, and then you pick up, and then you make sure that you serve that person, even if you don't know what they want, who they want, but that person is within the company. So you will take everything, the details, and assure the person that I will make sure this person gets the message. And then you take the message to the person and make sure that they go back to the customer. And maybe a day later, you phone the customer and ask, did so-and-so get back to you?
Wow.
You know, and now when I go to places and I don't get that kind of service, I get so like frustrated with people, and I'm saying, but it's like you do not even respect me as a person who just walked in here and brought my money into this company. I could have gone somewhere else, but I chose to come here, you know. And I think most people will concur with this, that people are just frustrated. If you go to our government institutions, for instance, I mean, it is worse. People start work at 8, but they arrive at their workstations 8:15. And when they get there, they're chatting, and the queues are long, and the queues are long, and the queues are long, and it's already 9:15. They haven't even started with one person, and they say 9 o'clock, I'm going on tea. Then they come back at 9:30, and then they serve 2-3 people, and they're talking, like you say, they say next. And you know, sometimes I remember one day I was at this hospital, and they were calling next, the way you were mentioning it.
Next.
And when you get there, they're asking people very private and confidential questions, and people are there. When last did you get your period? I mean, really? I mean, really now? I'm like, and now the poor person must disclose. How old are you? What's your age? Who wants to disclose their age in public? Really? And you know, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm thinking, enough is enough now.
Yeah.
Enough is enough now. And you know, as you know me, anything that irritates me, I put it on paper.
We need to take a break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to Initiating Insight with Sibongile. Today I am sitting with Mrs. Olga Mkhize, my fruitful. And we are talking about customer service. It's if you're a person who's right in their minds, who appreciates respect, who appreciates the good things in life, I think you will share the same sentiment that really this customer service issue needs to be dealt with, and it's long overdue. Actually, a lot of damage has occurred, and you know, remember when we were talking about Ubuntu, and I think this is related to a certain extent. Yes. Now, in the African culture, you are taught to greet the person you find there, ne? But with this, it's the other way around. You greet a customer first. When a customer arrives at your station or at your till, you are the one who's supposed to say good morning or hello or hi or whatever, you know, but a greeting. Am I right?
You are right. You are correct. But it's not happening that way.
No.
I mean, you know, sometimes, let's say you get to a retail store and well, your things go through.
Yes.
And then they get stuck somewhere at the corner there. And then you pay. Then the person asks, plastic.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Plastic. I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to be a long day.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, yes. Maybe you even swipe, you don't have cash. And they say 140. I don't have 140 cents. I swiped most. You could have asked me before you, you know.
Oh, you mean you've just swiped and then they're only asking you now,
yes,
plastic, and plastic now it's 140
and you don't have, you know.
Exactly.
And you're like, but then somehow you get it, you know.
Yeah.
and then your things stay there at that corner. The next,
Yo.
and you go like, hey, but I'm not a packer here. What about my goods? And they're pushing the other person and they're mixed with yours. And then you ask the cashier, excuse me, my things. And she says, what? Pack your things. I'm like, me? Pack my things. Since when am I employed by this company? Well, I'm not a packer, I'm a cashier.
Wow,
And they-
congratulations.
and they
we
tell
are
it,
happy
they
for
tell
you.
it straight to your face.
Yeah.
You know, they just couldn't be bothered. And even when you can call the store manager sometimes, they'll just say, we'll talk to the person. But nothing ever comes out of it. And you know, I don't know if this will sound right, but I have learned that mostly, especially in our townships, we've got shopping malls and whatever, where only black people serve other black people, it's even worse. But you know, when you go to the suburbs, sometimes when you go to like upmarket areas, you get the treatment that you are important as a customer, you are a VIP. But I don't want to lie to you, in other places, it's horrible. And even I see how they treat our pensioners, you know, our mothers.
Oh,
and
no, don't even go there.
yeah, you know,
Don't
they,
even go there.
on the first, I think until the 7th, they go to these retail stores and they queue for the whole day. They want to get their money. And somebody was saying the other day, these people don't bring in money. They're just here to take the money and they make me sick. And he's a manager at that store, and he was going on and on. And fortunately for him that day, I was not in the mood to take anybody on.
Ish.
You know, I wasn't. I just didn't have the energy to deal with it. But I noted that, and it didn't gel well with me, especially when it comes to the elderly people, the people who are on pension. You must see how they are treated. You must see how they are treated even in government institutions. It is just not on.
Do you think that, because Mina, first of all, particularly because you touched black, amongst us blacks, we take things for granted very quickly. And you find people in government services, and there's a question, Mina, that I like asking. You see, why are we waiting? Because I have no tolerance for justice, for injustice. I have no tolerance for injustice at all, of any kind, at any level. So Minage, because I'm jajarach as well, you know, Mos, I'm jajarach, and I will speak even for you when you've not asked to speak for me, for as long as I can see that that person is not treating me well. You know, so I would speak for all of us who are waiting. Are we waiting because you're keeping us waiting? You're keeping us waiting because you can. And I even sometimes joked to somebody and I said, but you know, psychologically, I understand why these people do this. You mentioned a hospital, for instance, or a clinic. People who are in those institutions, even retail stores for that matter, I suppose, for as long as a person is there from 8 to 5, they don't care. You know why? Christians will say, powerful revelation, my sister. You know why? Because they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, so they're not in a hurry. Now, when you come with your red shoes there and you're tired of your heels, you think you're going to be tired on me. Bona, chill.
True.
Sizobloma lang phuma ngo-5 mina ukuthi wena appointment ngo-3 ayifuni mina, it's a problem, not mine. And I see that happening, you know, amongst people who are supposed to understand even Ubuntu better.
Thank you. It's happening there, and I don't know what to call this thing, but it's bad. And now the thing is, even the people who are managing those places, it's like they are not doing anything about it. They see. You know, like you would walk into somewhere and somebody is busy mopping. There is no other passage where you can go through. And they have that thing and they like,
yeah.
And you think, this thing is going to hit me. You know, and they like give you that, can't you say I'm
that
mopping?
Look like you must step there. You will see.
And then you see somebody with a store manager badge walking past. He's not saying anything. Marisi, this customer is being abused now.
I said I'm going to stay calm, so...
And companies will be shutting down because there are places that I refuse to go and give my money to because of one person who's working there, who's giving me bad service and giving hundreds of people bad service.
We need to take a break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Appreciating Insight with Sibongile. I am still sitting with Fruitful, Mrs. Olga Mkiza. We are talking about customer service. Before we went on a break, she mentioned that if you do not respect where you are, that business can be shut. Because the more of you practice wrong things, and the longer you do it, the less and less of customers will. Less and less of feet will walk into your business. You know, when you talk about the issue of packing, I once had that experience. Muntu not greeted, don't know, maybe they left. You know, I say to these children I look after, I say to them, don't worry. You know, when a person, even on driving or wherever, a person when they are rude to you, I say, no, don't worry, they didn't make their bed when they left home. So, thinking, maybe she's still thinking whether to greet me in isiZulu or is Afrikaans or is Venda or is Zulu or is Sotho, you know. Oh, nothing, no greeting, Zololo. No. Okay. Finished. Plastic before I paid. Pay. Finish. Not packing. You're not going to pack? Well, that's not my pack. I'm like, okay, can I get my money back, please? Yo! Honestly, I said, no, I'm going to leave this thing. Can I get my money back, please? Yo! She packed. I'm saying to her, girl, please don't make your problems mine. I'm the customer here. I'm the reason you have that food on the table. Because if you give this service to me, and Mrs. Olga comes, and Uvikas comes, those are the 3 customers you had for the day. And if you give that service to those customers, forget about seeing them tomorrow. And this is exactly what you're saying. However, here's a twist to this, Mrs. Olga. You know, it's fun even in restaurants. You'll be going with a person and then you order something, you don't like it, or somebody will say fine. So I think that part of the problem, it's actually us as customers. We have perpetuated this.
We don't complain.
We have perpetuated this problem because we have not complained. When a person gives you bad service, it's like you don't know you're right. You don't know that you're a king and you're a queen at that time. And it's not to say that we should treat them, you know, with arrogance or whatever. But I mean, we respect them. That's their service that they are providing to us. Not somewhere they receive a service from us somewhere, because we're not always customers. And we get to a place at which, and they're not always providing a service. At some point they. So we have perpetuated it.
I think South Africans don't complain.
Yeah.
Especially people of my color. You know, one day, I was with my mom at some retail store. So when we got the tomato sauce on the shelf was marked very, very low. So I took about 4, you know, put it in a trolley. I'm excited. And then by the time we get to the tills, they like scan and then it gives a different price. And they want to charge me what the price. And I say, no. I'm getting these 4 at that lower price.
That you saw at the shelf.
That I saw at the shelf. But it's a mistake. Not my problem.
Exactly.
You know what my mom said? You know, my mom is from old school. I mean, bless her soul. She's only 90. She's turning 92 next week.
Wow.
She's very old.
Yes, she's lived.
But, you know, she said, no, baby. Let's leave them, you know. They will shoot us. Who will shoot us?
Yeah.
Who will shoot us? Nobody's shooting us. We're taking these things at the price that we saw on shelf, you know. And she was like in a state, and she says to me, but why do you all like to make a scene all the time in Gerema? Customer service must happen. I didn't put that big price there. Somebody did, and it's their mistake, not my mistake. So even the store owner came and said, yeah, but ma'am, it was a mistake. I can't. Don't make your problems store my owner. Problem. The store owner wanted me to pay the price on the till. I said, no, Baba, it doesn't work like that. I am getting these things at this price. And you know, I said, and if you want this to be like in papers tomorrow, the whole world will know. And I was like threatening him, and I meant what I said. I said to him, I'll take you to the woods. You know,
Sure.
you don't, if this is how you're treating people of my color, and think you can come here and say, no, it was a mistake, this is the price, you see, it's not going to work with me, you know. So sometimes you find that because people are even scared to complain, and people just accept anything, you know. If you go to, let me not mention the names, but there are certain outlets which are in town. If you go to them, and they have the same outlet in the location, the quality of the products or the produce is not the same.
Wow.
It is not the same, not at all. Spinach, if you go to a certain high class area and you go to, it's totally two different products.
Why is that?
I don't know. I do not understand. Where do people draw the line? Why give others this and give others that?
Wow.
So it's like, it's not even just about
And we haven't
stuff.
complained.
We haven't complained.
So by the time we start complaining, by the time we start toying, the service providers are used to this. So they're thinking, they'll forget, they'll get tired, leave them, let them jump, they'll lose weight, and they'll forget.
Exactly. I think they do have places where they like say, this is a high class, this is a middle class, low class, whatever. And even when they take things into their stores, they categorize according to those classes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we must just accept it and say, yeah, at least we have this outlet in the township, you know, unlike going where to go and buy. Even companies themselves, they're perpetuating this, because now they are doing it to their own customers.
Yeah.
And like you say, we have allowed it for too long. We are not complaining. We are not saying anything. We don't even know that we do have a right, because it is our money. When I walk into a place, I want value for my money.
No, actually, we do complain, Sis Olga. We complain amongst one another,
Yeah.
not to the right person.
Yes.
And this has been an issue for me about life in general, that we form these cliques and we think that problems are going to be resolved amongst us,
Yes.
when actually we should take this to Vikas and say, Vikas, sort this out.
Yes.
When we should actually take this to Sibongile, sort this out. It's a problem we don't want. So when none of Vikas, you talk to each other, but it's not going to land in Sibongile's ears. And so it's not going to be. And I don't know what is this fear that people live by. I don't know what is this intimidation that people, because people are scared.
People are scared to be marginalized as well. You know, they don't.
But I mean, until the time where we actually understand ourselves, that we deserve better as people, we are human beings first. Before we have those titles and those positions, we are human beings first, and we deserve better, and we deserve best. There's no way we can sort this out.
And also,
as we close,
when we're talking about customer service, we're not discounting the fact that people have problems. People come to work heavy loaded and they cannot deal with their problems, and they end up like just customers paying for whatever is they're going through in their own personal lives. That's why companies need to have like something near wellness, you know, to make sure that they take care of their staff's personal issues and help them go through those things, because if there is no wellness, then their staff members will never ever get to a point where they provide customer service, because they coming to work loaded, heavily burdened, and nobody is helping them through that, but they are expected to put a smile on their faces as if nothing is happening. That is humanly impossible.
Sure. So this is a cycle, eh?
Yeah.
Stand-Sam? So yes, Musni.
I know.
Okay. We've come to the end of this episode today. Until next time, please do join us on our Facebook page, Sibongile Initiating Insight. Until next time.